So this is a bit of a different video than my normal videos. It's completely unscripted and it's kind of a bit more of an insight into me, I guess, and my journey as a potter. I'm going to be sharing kind of how I became a potter, how long I've been doing it, a little bit about why I started, and yeah, a little bit more about me, I guess. Okay, so this is my garden. It's very dry at the moment. We've had very little rain over the summer here, so all the grass is kind of dead. This is Flora. She is a rescue kitty and she's very friendly. She loves people and she loves being in videos too. She will probably make her voice heard during this recording. Yeah, this is our garden. It's a little bit wild. It's our little house. This is my original studio that was here when we bought the house, and it's where I started my pottery business. So it's I think it's 6 foot by 12 foot, I think it is. I'll show you inside. It's bijou. My husband painted it like a beach hut for me as a surprise, which I thought was very cute. It's a bit of a Monica's cupboard, so please excuse the mess. But this is where my kilns live right now. But originally I had my wheel in here and I used to make in here. So that big kiln wasn't here and I used to have my wheel over there. And my little kiln was my only kiln. Yeah, but it's a bit messy right now, so I will leave that tour for another day. I'll go up here. And this is my main studio. This is where I work every day. This is where I make. This is my, well, I'll just show you this. This is our main garden. It's kind of left to do its own thing, really. I don't really have time to kind of do a lot with the garden, but it looks okay, apart from the dry grass. It's a little greenhouse. Yeah, so this is my main studio, which I built in 2018. And this is where I make everything. So this is where my wheels are. This is where I do all my hand building, my shelves with some stock on, keep my clay over there, sink trap, my kind of vision board over there with some of my life dreams on there. Yeah, this is my shelves, which has got all of my work on. So this is some travel mugs which need to go in the kiln, and some work from some students which were here with me last week. I was doing some trimming, so this hence why my wheel is filthy. But yeah, I thought I'd kind of show you the realities as well as all the nice bits. Probably do a proper tour video of my studio at some point. If you think that's something you'd be keen to see, let me know in the comments below. So I just recorded a whole really heartfelt video and then realised that my microphone had run out of battery. Take two, but I have my tea, so all is good. I just wanted to do kind of more of a vlog, I guess, which is a little bit different to my other videos that I share with my pottery club. So they're a little bit more scripted because there I'm demonstrating a technique or a project. I write out a script beforehand because there's a lot of information that I want to get across and I don't want to miss anything. Whereas this is a more kind of off the cuff, conversational
vlog is what the kids these days would call it. But I thought I'd give it a go. Let me know what you think. If you hate it, then don't tell me. Just move on. That's cool, that's fine. I thought I'd start with the beginning, really. I wanted to share with you a little bit about my journey into pottery, how I started, why I decided to become a potter full-time. That might help some of you on your own journey, it might not, but you just might be interested to kind of hear how it all happened. So I started pottery for the first time back in 2005. It was after I graduated uni, so I studied art, fine art and theatre actually at uni, but I never touched clay. My university actually had a really great ceramics department, but it always clashed with another subject. So it was always at the same time as my life drawing module or my photography module. So I always tended to prioritize that over trying out clay for some reason. But there you are. After uni, you know, like most students, I had debts to pay off and rent and bills. I just got an office job. I worked in customer services and I hated it, to be quite frank with you, and knew that I needed to do something creative in the evenings, just to kind of keep me sane, really. So I signed up for a ceramics class at my local college. It was an evening class, and from the first moment I touched clay, I just absolutely fell in love. I thought, where has this been all my life? Hello, Flora. Hi. Hello. Are you done? I kind of wish that I could have turned back the clock 3 years and done my whole degree again and chosen ceramics as my major, but I didn't. There we are. I was obsessed with pottery. I wanted all the information. I heard all the books I could from the library. I watched all the YouTube videos. I was just like a sponge. I just wanted more pottery. And I was still working my 9-to-5 job and just doing pottery as a hobby on the side. It wasn't until maybe, I don't know, 2 years later that I bought my first wheel. And it was from a potter in Wales, actually. He was closing down his studio. He'd just got a grant from the European Union to become a video artist. So he was getting rid of all of his equipment, everything. His glazes, his tools, his wheel. And yeah, I went over in a little van and picked up the wheel, and he gifted me a whole bunch of his tools and glazes at the same time, which was just so generous and so amazing. And that's kind of was one of my first interactions with another potter, and that kind of generosity has always kind of shined through with other potters. So yeah, so I was thrilled. I had my wheel. It's pretty old. It's like probably the same age as me. I still have it. It's quite noisy, so I tend to use my newer wheel now. But yeah, that getting my own wheel was the kind of start, really progression of my skill, my making. It just meant that I could spend hours just practicing. And I think that is one of the main things when you first start out anything, not just pottery, is you have to put in the hours practicing. You can't expect to be good at something that's really quite tricky overnight. And just by having my own wheel was a really amazing opportunity for me to just put in those hours. So yeah, so my first wheel cost me 200 quid, which was, yeah, absolute bargain. Yeah, I set up a little pottery space in my dining room, and clay splattered up the walls, you know, reclaim everywhere, buckets of glaze, and it was only it was quite a few years before I considered ever doing pottery for a living. A friend of mine was diagnosed with a brain tumour at the age of 30, and he'd always been so supportive of me, and, you know, had such lovely things to say about my work, and said, you know, Car, you should do this for a living. Why don't you do this? Like, sack off the day job, do pottery. Really tragically, he actually passed away a couple of years later, and his passing was what really made me kind of think, you know what, you only get one chance to follow your dreams, and he didn't have that chance. I kind of felt I almost owed it to him, really, to just give it a go. It was a pretty low time for me, and it was around that time that I was in my local pottery supply store, and I saw a little poster which was calling for hobby potters to audition for a new TV show. You've probably heard of it now. It's called The Great Pottery Throwdown. But back then, no one had heard of it. Like, it wasn't a big thing. It was literally like, I think it was just a pilot. And I thought, you know what, sod it. I'm gonna audition. And I had Alex's voice in my head telling me, Car, just go for it. So I did. So I sent off the best pictures of my best pots, which were pretty ropey at the time, to be fair. And I wrote my little bio and I sent it off, and I actually got a call back that day asking me to come to an audition in London. So off I went. I had to pull a sickie from work, which I don't mind telling you now because this is like 8 years on. I don't think I can get in trouble now. And yeah, it was just amazing. It was incredible to meet all these other potters, be in the same room as like 30 other people who were doing pottery. And they were all they weren't doing it full time, so they might have been working part-time as a technician, or there was a guy there who was an artist in residence at a private school. There was a couple of people teaching in the evenings, but they all had there was all their side hustles. It showed me, that it's possible to make money from pottery. It's possible to make a living from it, and that never really had that proof of life before. Fly. Spoiler alert: I didn't get on the show, but I got down to like the final, 20 auditionees. Ironically enough, I couldn't cope with the camera in my face. Throwing a pot, trying to answer a question, and having a cameraman here and like a boom mic here was just it was too much. It just kind of opened a new world for me and gave me the confidence to think, gosh, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can make a living from pottery. At least I should try. So I went home and I had a lot of conversations with my friends and family. And I didn't give them enough credit. I kind of thought that they would say, Car, being a potter, that's probably a really hard way to make a living, which it is. But they didn't say that. They were nothing but supportive. They said, we're all behind you. If this is what you want to do, go for it. Like, why not? Say hi. Come here. Say hi. Say hello. Hi. You're so cute. But you have to go because you're not helping, okay? Good girl. I love you. Yeah, a few weeks later, I wrote my resignation letter and handed in my notice. Nearly 8 years later, I'm still here. I've never worked harder in my entire life. It's really true what they say. When you work for yourself, you don't work 9 to 5, you work 24/7. But the freedom and the joy of sharing this amazing craft with the world has just been such a privilege, and I feel so lucky and grateful that I get to do it every day. Yeah, I thought I'd share my story with you just in case it inspires any of you to follow the same path, follow your dreams. I'd love to hear your story of your pottery journey and where you are right now, when you share in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, think about subscribing to my channel. That really helps. Let me know if you have any more questions, and I hope to chat to you again very soon. Bye!